with the presentation of Gilda Massa.
Okay, thank you. Everyone, do you use my
Okay.
screen?
So people are still joining, but we would like to start with the presentation of Gilda. Then, unfortunately, she has to leave, but you will receive all the materials. I will just not present her largely to save time. You have the description of her profile in the description of the conference. So please, Gilda, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Valentina. Thank you to the CEnTOUR project for inviting me. Today I would like to present you the renewable energy community from the legal framework point of view from Italy, and the DNA tools to support the renewable energy community and the results of our commerce project. Also listening to the presentation of Elena a few minutes ago, I see that you also have an approach that in some aspects are similar to ours on the commerce project, that is the transfer visit and the transfer experience, the peer-to-peer approach among partners are very useful in this kind of project. And then I will show you later our experience. Now let's start. This is the Italian pathway towards energy community. This is a process started from the European Commission in 2018 with the RED II directive. In this directive was defined the energy community profile. And from the RED II, then another directive on the directive 144 of 2019. That is the directive on the markets and on the energy markets, when another kind of energy community approach, the citizen energy community was defined. And in Italy, what we have done, starting from these two European directives, we have implemented, first of all, law degree in 1990, and then we have transferred it into law in 2020. Now I go quickly in this. In Italy, we have done two phases. The first one that you see in my presentation, that is in blue, that was an experimental phase. In this experimental phase, we have a national law with several constraints defined with the in implementing degrees. That is the one released from the MISA and from the RERA, and the technical rules from the GSA in Italy. In this constraint, a lot of energy community are starting. One of these are one of Magliano Dalk, and then the professor Sergio Olivero will present their experience. Then what we have understood in Italy from this first phase in the legal framework, that something needs to be changed, and so we have then developed another legal framework with the legislative degree 199 in 2021, and from this legislative degree we have received also the ARERA regulation and the updated rules from GSA, and we are waiting from the definition of our Ministry of Sustainable Economy to identify how to apply these new rules. What I mean with this, here I've tried to summarize and to compare the main elements of an energy community from the legislative evolution. The first is the how to say the testing phase with the law 8 of 2020 and the legislative degree in 2021. In the first column, you can see are the main elements that are part of the legal framework that have to be considered and analyzed, and what is changed among the two legislative scenario. The REC boundary, the main elements is the red boundary. That means that the citizen, the members of the energy community that could take part on an energy community have to be under the same secondary cabinet. Secondary cabinet is the cabinet that changes from the medium to the low voltage, and what we have understood in the preliminary phase, and is an experience also done from the community of Magliano Alpi, is that to improve, to grow the potential and the results of an energy community is necessary to have a larger boundaries. And what is this is put in place with the new degree, and so the configuration, the boundary changes from the second cabinet to the primary cabinet, that is from the high to the medium, or the change from the high to the medium voltage. Another element that is, I think, very interesting for also for the partners of the CEnTOUR project is that in the legislative degree in 2021, which could be part of an energy community: individuals, territorial authorities, local authorities, and small and medium enterprises could be part of the community. The only constraint is that the energy have not to be the business the business of the enterprises involved in the community. Then there are several other constraints. I will leave you this presentation so you can check on this, but I would like to highlight these main elements. And another very important change done from the first to the second part of the legal framework is the dimension of the power of the plants. In the first phase, we have a dimension that is at the limit, has the limit of 200 kilowatt power, and it is changed until 1000 kilowatt power, that is 1 megawatt. That is the different dimension that is also strictly connected with the boundary, and so to enlarge the possibility and to empower the rule of an energy community. Another element that is necessary to highlight in this talking about legislative evolution is that is related to the incentives and the bonus, because incentives and bonus are elements that have been part of the business model that has growing in Italy, that has from the different energy community. Why? Because we have the Italian government has put a lot of effort and a lot also of money in the energy community vision and in the potential of this approach, this bottom up approach, and how this is done is with a return of tariff components and on a bonus that is related to the energy, that is to the shared energy. What is the shared energy? You can see here is the minimum value in each hourly period between the electricity produced and fed into the grid, and that is withdrawn by all associated end customer of the that is the associated end customer, that we mean the partners of the members of the energy community. Now, from the experience of our project, what is clear is that we have to focus on two elements: on the design of the energy community and on the management. And so when we talk about design of an energy community, we have to focus on the analysis of the local available energy resources, on the analyze the energy supply and demand, and we have to synchronized as better as possible these two approach, and also the dimension of production facilities that is necessary to identify. So if we have to summarize, what do we mean if we say that we have to design at the energy community? We have to understand in each local scenario when and how energy community is used. And another strategic rule is the rule of the IT platform, because when we have so many partners and we have a configuration that is a virtual configuration for the energy sharing in an energy community, we have to manage the demand aggregation, the flexibility and the demand response strategy, and to load also the optimization aspects. So these are challenging elements for an energy community. And how Enea approaches these challenging elements with a platform for the energy community that is called Cruise. Cruise is our main elements. Is a project that is now at the moment is in testing phase, but on web you can reach to tools that are being related and available for starting the approach on the energy analysis from citizen, from a citizen point of view, and also from a feasibility study for an energy community that are Recon and Domus. So we have identified a set of tools that could support the energy community, Recon and Domus. Then in next slide I will present you briefly these two tools. Then Cruise, and under implementation phase are the local token economy, the living lab, and the microgrids. I would focus the attention on the local token economy, because is the elements that more strictly connect the energy aspects and the energy community to a circular approach, circular local approach. Wow, because what we have planned to do in Italy with the in Enea with the local token economy is to provide a tool that starting from the energy the energy flexibility and the energy bonus and the energy saving that energy community can obtain. The partners can also be part of a local token economy using the local token. They can activate a local economy to improve the sustainability of the local community that is strictly connected to the rule of an energy community, because as I explained in the previous slide, members of an energy community have to be how to say, in a geographical specific area that is under the same high primary cabin. And that is why we can say, okay, let's start with an energy approach, but go through this approach to improve the community and the local sustainability with services that are based on a token economy. I've seen that I've said that the two starting tools from Enea are Recon and Domus, which is the aims of Recon and Domus. Recon is a technical economic simulator of a renewable energy community. That means that adding data on the energy consumption and data on production, or the tool could simulate the data related to the energy production, you can have first vision of the investment that is necessary to create an energy community, and also the break-even point that is in this slide. What you can see is the break-even point. That means that if we start with an investment, I don't know if I have a better slide on this. Okay, here it is. No, this is on consumption. This is one on the cash flow. You can see that, for example, the tool could provide a simulation of the investment that is necessary to create an energy community. So if there's a first investment of 23,000 euro, you can have break-even point in more or less 6 years. How it's calculated, this break-even point, the break-even is calculated taking into account the bonus and the incentives that our government gives to the energy community. There's algorithm that calculate this approach inside Recon, and Domus is another tool that is more based on the specific citizen, on the energy optimization in the house. That is also the name is Domus, is to say data homes and users, platform dedicated for residential users. And what Domus does is the collection, aggregation, and analysis of data from residential users to provide an educational feedback to the users and incentivate conscious and virtuous use of the energy. So each member can better understand his energy approach, how it uses energy, how can have a virtuous using of the energy in the zone. This is what can be provided to with the Domus tool. And if there are also the possibility to have a more detailed analysis of the energy of the consumption, of each member to his warehouse, if there is available if the users are equipped with the consumption monitoring device, that is device are capable of sharing monitoring data with the Domus platform. This is an advanced user profile that could gather more results from the tool. Here in this, I will leave you the slide. You can find the link, and so you can test our tools. Recon is available in English too. Domus is in Italian language, but is quite easy to understand what kind of information are requested, and also the results that is given are easy to understand, because we at the end you have I don't remember how to translate in English, a dashboard. You have a dashboard where you can analyze your consumption profile and the data related also from the environment, from an energy point of view, and for environmental impact point of view. I try to go quickly on this presentation. So some of the results that comes from Recon and Domus. This is Cruise. Cruise is under testing phase at the moment, and is a tool for the local energy community. Is a tool that is dedicated to the manager of an energy community, and the main elements of these tools as to provide a supervision, activity of forecasting and estimating of the strategies for an energy community, the ways of also to test, to choose the policies that could be taking place inside the community, and criteria and reward methods to implement them, and also the territorial communication. These are all the main elements that will take part in the tool, and will be available for an energy community. Because another point that I would like to highlight you is that when an energy community is in place, is also necessary to identify governance. Then later, the professor Sergio Olivero will also explain you what I mean when I talk about a government. But a government, to have a very effective government, is also necessary to have tool to understand how the community is going, how community is working. And this is what I also told you about the local token economy, that is a platform to exchange goods. Will be a platform, is under development. Will be a platform to exchange good and service, and to improve the sharing economy, starting from the energy approach. And this is the challenging elements of this local autonomy from an side, that we are realizing this with blockchain technology. Now time is running, so I try to be very fast and present you the cameras project. Cameras project is a project that the main aim is to increase the share of renewable energy in the electricity sector by facilitating development and supporting the implementation of enabling framework for renewable energy community. That is a bottom-up energy community, a bottom-up approach, and this is how also the project has applied his development, as identified in the 9 CAMRES countries, set of target region in which the project has implemented the activity, and with the aims are to demonstrate democratic participation and governance, and to generate tangible and collective benefits for the local community. How we have done this in the project, we have 16 partners, and with these 6 partners have identified 9 country desks for each partners of the CAMRES project, and which are the main activity, the developing the project. And I've seen a lot of similarities also in the presentation with the CEnTOUR project. First of all, examination of the legal, socioeconomic, spatial, and environmental characteristics, and the reason for a deployment of the renewable energy community in the target region. Then we have analyzed the barriers and potential drivers for development of the energy community, how to involve the stakeholder, and the national desk has provided a strategic rule on this aspect. And also what we have done at national level, we have investigated good practice that could be transferred or internal or external among partners of the CAMRES project. we have a development regional action plan and business model proposals for the learning region, starting from the good practice and the analysis of the barriers and the potential drivers identified in the good practice, and also in the best practice, and the energy city hall is the best practice for the Italian desk of the Cameras project.
Gilda, sorry,
Valentina?
if I may interrupt you for a second, I know that you are running out of time.
Yes.
So if I maybe just ask you one question before you go to the end of the presentation, what would be really interesting for us? We see that you had a large experience with the Cameras project, and you are coming at the end of your project, so at the end of your path. What do you think could be summarized as the main barriers for people to be involved in a renewable energy community, and which are the positive aspects, the take-home message, let's say, for the participants that, in your opinion, would be a good reason to establish something similar in one of the communities involved in the project, in our project? Sorry if I messed you up.
No problem, no problem at all. I just try to how to say, to summarize a very effective. Our experience is that a barrier is for the energy community implementation are two main barriers: environmental aspects that are related to the technologies and to the plants that needs to be installed inside for an energy community and for the energy production. And so the rule of specific partners, like the municipalities and small and medium enterprise, could be strategic because they could give lands, area, and also the legal framework and the trust to the citizen to be sure that this installation could be managed in the correct way from a sustainable environment, for an environmental point of view, and at the same time could avoid them to invest a lot of money in the installation plan, because this installation could be realized by municipality. That is also the experience in Magliano Alpi, and the partners of the energy community can gather all the benefits that comes from the energy shared among partners without having a lot of investment from the beginning. And so the confidence and the value of an energy community grow among citizens, and then the connection and they will how to say, grow in number more and more in the community. This is what I've learned, and also what Professor Olivero will explain also you in their specific experience from the Cameras project. My apologies for having doing so fast, so quick. I will leave you the presentation, and you can be, if you want to send me email for better detail, better clarification on results on our project, I would be very happy to answer and to discuss also on bilateral meetings.
Thank you, Gilda. We apologize for the issue that we had that made you running out of time. It's not your fault, of course. And thank you very much. And yes, we will share the presentation with all the participants, and we will collect questions for you if needed, and forward them to you, and make you answer all the questions from the floor. Thank you very much for having been with us this morning, and we leave you to your next meeting.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Now we take the opportunity to leave the floor to Professor Sergio Olivero, which is our next speaker. Thank you also to you for allowing a bit more time, and I hope this is not a problem for you. If not, just let us know. Professor Olivero is a research and innovation manager with a multi-annual experience at national and international level. Since May 2019, he is head of business and finance innovation at the Energy Center of the Politecnico of Torino, with focus on energy communities, building retrofit, innovative business models for energy-driven urban regeneration, and strategic planning, action plans against energy poverty. So something really interesting for us. The reason why we ask him to be with us today is because, among other roles that he has in the energy field, is also the president of the scientific committee of the renewable energy community, which is called Energy City Hall in Magliano, Alpi, Italy. And this one is one of the case studies of the COMERES project. So we hope that with his presentation today, we will be able to understand a bit more in practical how an energy community works and what we can take as a take-home message from this experience in Italy. So, Professor Olivero, the field is yours, please.
Okay, thank you for inviting me. I needed to close the meeting at a 11:45 because of another call, but well, I will try to make my presentation short so that possible questions can be made. Clearly,
perfect. Thank you very much.
In case I am not in the call, I will be glad to answer specific questions. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, we see it.
Okay.
And now if you, perfect. Thank you.
So the issue are the renewable energy communities of Magliano Alpi as catalysts for local sustainable development. Please note renewable energy communities because more than one REC is being developed and according to an approach for replication. The city of Magliano Alpi is a small city, 2,100 inhabitants in the province of Cuneo. And in December 2020, the city created the first Italian renewable energy community in compliance with the RED II directive that was adopted by the Italian government with a law called Article 42 bis in February 2020. So there are several possible definitions of renewable energy communities. In this case, we call REC a community built in compliance with the directive as transposed by the national regulation. The REC of Magliano Alpi is a member of RESCUP and has three main objectives: to help citizens and small and medium enterprises to cope with energy transition, notably by mitigating and stabilizing the cost of energy, support local economic development in the post-COVID phase, and support other cities to design and activate RECs. Two additional RECs were built in 2022, REC 2 and REC 3, and the total installed power in December 22 was 108 kilowatt. Because of the new Italian law on RECs, a law that is called 199, that finally transposed the RED II directive, the three RECs will be merged into a unique bigger REC worth 3 MW. The Macado project, from the name of Magliano, Carru, and Dolce Acqua, Macado, that has 3 small cities in Piedmont and Liguria. 2 great RECs are going to be created in compliance with the new law. The law entered into force in October 21, and the boundary of the RECs will be in several weeks the high voltage substation. Today, the limitation of the REC that can be officially created in Italy, the limitation boundary is the medium voltage, low voltage substation. That is just small RECs can be built, but starting from probably end of March, quite a larger RECs would be possible. So the Macado project is coordinated 2 business plans, one for the Magliano Carru area up to 3 MW, and one in Dolce Acqua near Monte Carlo up to 1.5 MW. The project will also apply to the Italian Recovery and Resilience Fund, PNRR, 2.2 billion euros for cities below 5,000 inhabitants. I think that this is a political decision that only Italy decided to activate. So all RECs created in cities below 5,000 inhabitants will be eligible for a lot of money, and this will clearly boost the creation of RECs in Italy. The Macado project is funded by the Compagnia di San Paolo, and the partners are the 3 cities of Magliano Alpi, Carru, and Dolce Acqua, and technical partners are GoChair, the operational group of renewable energy community, and Enerbrain, that is a startup in the field of smart cities. The city of Magliano Alpi is also signing official agreements with other cities in Italy, with the objective of speeding up the process of REC design and implementation. As you can see here, there are several cities, but the list is growing day by day. Cities are in northern part, in central and southern part. For example, in southern Italy, Matera, that is one of the cities with the highest cultural heritage in Italy, enter the network. Also, the link between renewable energy communities and e-mobility is pursued by Magliano Alpi. That's why 2 cars, one from the city of Magliano Alpi and the other from GoChair, that is the operational local group, participated in this electric rally in Monte Carlo. 2022 was the first time, but also this year in September, the challenge will be held, and Magliano will be one of the participants. There's also an effort by the city of Magliano Alpi in cooperation with the JRC of the European Commission to create a simulation tool for RECs. It is the ERIGRID project. In the ERIGRID initiative, the European Commission makes its laboratory available for innovation. And this is the case when persons from researchers from Magliano Alpi and Politecnico di Torino participated and worked for several weeks at the JRC. And well, at the link you can find an official communication by the Energy Commission. As I already mentioned, in Magliano Alpi, the so-called GoChair was created. GoChair is practically a company that represents the catalyst of a local ecosystem made by designers, installers, builders, maintainers, craftsmen, small and medium enterprises for the sake of designing, constructing, and maintaining RECs. Clearly, digital platform for REC management are necessary. The municipalities act as independent guarantor and can be member of the REC according to the Italian law. Co-chair enable design and implementation of supply chains of local stakeholders so that the value can stay at local level. Please note that, roughly speaking, to install 1 megawatt photovoltaic, you need an investment of 1.2 million euros. So this is a lot of money that can represent an opportunity of new jobs and of work for local players. Citizens and companies in this case know whom to contact because co-chair is a local entity, so they can find a face and not a call center. Magliano Alpi's replication process is organized so that on one side we have the renewable energy community of the Energy City Hall of Magliano Alpi that sign agreements with the Energy Center of the Politecnico, with Enea, with the JRC, and also is also a living lab and test bed for the smart energy systems of Eranet. Thanks using through co-chair, RECs can be built and maintained according to the rules of proximity, manageability, credibility. On the other side, Magliano Alpi signs agreement with other municipalities of the Magliano and Friends network so that a local co-chair can be created. The objective is to make share expression of interest to choose product and service providers possible, is to share management, administration, and fiscal know-how, to build local supply chains to leave the value at local level, to enable benchmark capacity. Clearly, this represents a strategic data reservoir to design innovative business models, and also a project management capability. And as I mentioned before, 2.2 billion euros will be made available to cities below 5,000 inhabitants, and so this network of Magliano and Friends will operate as a support and to project management. Historical centers and landscape must be protected from uncontrolled installation of renewable plants, photovoltaic windmills. RECs potential on behalf of cultural heritage can be summarized as follows. You can install renewable plants where no boundaries exist, while don't compromising the areas with artistic, historical, cultural value. This is made possible by the law, and Magliano and Friends is currently working for sustainable RECs in 3 places in Italy. One is Dolce Acqua, then Matera and Baunei on the Sardinia coast. In this case, we do not have historical heritage, we have landscape to protect. The Renewable Energy Community, Energy City Hall, is a partner of the Italian Forum of Energy Communities, is one of the founding partners of Atenes, that is a no-profit association devoted to energy transition and energy communities in urban areas, and is also a partner of Rescoop. We can say that thanks to tax bonuses and incentives in Italy, the turnover and profit margins linked to the management of energy transition present exciting prospects of growth in the short, medium, and long term. There's a lot of money. So if we can use these resources with a redistributive and not only predatory logic, we will be capable of supporting the local economy, creating orders and jobs, and also favoring the repopulation of small towns. The clean energy package of the European Commission puts the citizen prosumer at the center of the energy transition, and the idea is to give voice to citizens and communities, local communities. So Magliano Alpi, Magliano and Friends, Renewable Energy Communities propose themselves as catalysts for a process of rethinking the energy-driven business models in which the energy transition can create tangible benefits for local communities, also building a narrative based on the proactive involvement of citizens. So this is very important. The money made available by the Italian government can be used to empower small cities, and RECs are the strategical and also technical and organizational tool capable of making this process possible. Thank you for your attention, and clearly I'm glad to answer questions if needed.
Thank you very much, Professor Olivero. Really an interesting presentation. You were able to keep time short while saying a lot of things. So thank you very much. Now,
I'm just trying to stop the sharing, but I don't know.
I will do it. Don't worry.
Okay. Thank you.
I can do it for you. I can share mine. I hope it works. And now it's the time for the Q&A session, and I hope that our participants will be really interested in the topic and will have a lot of questions for our speaker. So please, the floor is yours. Raise your hands, and Eleonora will let you participate and speak. Sorry, I'm doing like this because I don't see you. If while our participants are reasoning on the questions, maybe I have one for Professor Olivero. We understood from your presentation that this is a really interesting opportunity, especially for small municipalities, and also in light of how can I say, to develop a network that can really redistribute the recovery fund money to local communities. Maybe one question from our audience could be, is really a complex technical project. So what do we need to replicate it? Apparently, the role of the municipality is quite important, and also the possibility to have a local partner for fiscal, economic, and technical support, like the co-chair that you mentioned. Is it right?
Yes, the role of the municipalities is important, but first of all, it is the role of small and medium enterprises that is a key success factor. Municipalities can be, according to the Italian law, municipalities can be member of the REC, and public companies and also families, private companies and also families, tourist operator can be partner. So the opportunity clearly is to use REC is a powerful tool to generate money for the territory. This is not a very simple action. Please note that this is a multidisciplinary set of competencies. We need engineers, we need researchers, we need lawyers, we need people expert of fiscal issues. So the idea of Magliano and friends is exactly to try to speed up the process of replicating the approach in other RECs, in other cities throughout Italy, without reinventing the wheel each time. This is not so. To answer your question, it is not simple. Magliano Alpi and Magliano and Friends has made several achievements, and the idea is that public bodies shall cooperate and share good practice among themselves in order to speed up the process, avoiding starting from the beginning each time.
Okay, thank you. Maybe I can ask you another thing to understand more in practical how the SMEs can participate. You mentioned the word prosumer that is quite common in sharing projects and circular economy projects more in general. Could you please explain a bit more to our audience what does it mean?
Well, prosumer, well, in an energy community, you can have three categories of members: the producers, the users, and the prosumers. The producers are those who simply install a photovoltaic plant and sell the energy to the network. Users just use energy and consume energy, while the prosumers are those typically enterprises or families or municipalities that install renewable capacity, for example, photovoltaic system, and uses part of the energy for their own need and releases the rest to the network. So they produce and consume at the same time. Being the role of the small and medium enterprises is important, and it's better and if we consider the management of the renewable energy communities as made by companies, because the complexity of the systems that the REC will have to manage is so high that it is not possible to ask a municipality, a small municipality, to manage it. Because today RECs are just sharing incentives, but tomorrow, I mean, starting from next year, they will sell energy, they will sell ancillary services. This will be a business activity. So it's impossible that it is necessary that it is made by private entity. Clearly, RECs are no-profit companies, so it's important to write statutes in a way that is ethical, so that the profit margins are not given to someone who gets richer, but are given to the territory, notably to the cities, that will have additional resources to be invested at local level.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other question from the audience? I'm sure that some of our participants will be curious to know how they can participate, but they are a bit shy. So I will try to ask you a last question, then we'll let you go. Which is your, if you had to give a suggestion to someone thinking about how, if and how to establish a renewable energy community, where do they should start from?
Oh, well, well, they must start by learning what happened in other cities, not try to start from the beginning. And this is the reason why we created the Magliano and Friends initiative. Please note that you can find some information here. It is in Italian, but for our European friends, I think that the Google Translator can be a good opportunity. So starting on the basis of what has already been done, at the same time avoiding to ask just one consultant to do something, because this is a multidisciplinary process. So you need engineers, you need architects, you need expert of information communication technology, of artificial intelligence, you need lawyers, you need fiscal experts. So you need to cope with a multidisciplinary challenge. That's why also the role of universities are important, because they can act as a third-party entity, not directly involved in the provision of services, and this can make the process more ethical. This is important because a lot of money will be available, 2.2 billion euros. That is, practically speaking, 1 million euro per each of small municipalities. Clearly, they are not able to manage such amount of money. So the only way is to create clusters and to enable a joint and shared management capacity, just to avoid just speculations or the involvement of, how can I say, not so serious entities.
Thank you. And we have a question from Agriturismo Arciera. Please, I'm trying.
Yes,
Okay.
only a few words. Sorry, I didn't have my camera on because I look horrible because I feel sick. My aspect today is quite awful. And the question is, not the question, but I want to tell that 2 months ago, my municipality contact me and also some other family around me to keep together and try to create this community. We send them our data concerning the consuming of electricity, and we also communicate that we want to join the company. And I don't know the future step, but the small community and the municipality also, we are in the Sibillini Mountains, the really small villages, are trying to perform and to become really not independent, but to give to the community a discount on the energy aspect.
Well,
Thank you very
clearly,
much.
if your municipality is interested, obviously, Magliano and Friends is open to any support, ideas, or cooperation.
Of course, I can turn your invitation. In that way, if they need, they have a referent.
Great. Thank you very much, Orietta, for sharing this experience. And I think you mentioned also another important issue, that is the first step is being aware of our consumption. So this is why Enea put in place all the tools that Gilda showed us before. Do we have other questions? I hear someone, but no. Please.
So if there are no questions, I have
we'll let you know.
to leave for another call.
We'll let you go.
Okay.
Thank you very much for giving us.
Bye.
a question in the chat.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
Yes, sorry, yes. I put a question in the chat, but it was very noisy in my office just before, so now it's better. Yes, I wanted to know if you had feedback from the same process in other countries, and if it is also driven by municipalities or in another way. But I don't know if you have this type of feedback.
Well, we are dealing with renewable energy communities defined as entities in compliance with the RED II directive of European Commission. So with this constraint, the only comparable examples can be found in Portugal, where the directive was transposed, even if Italy is the country in Europe where today a lot of money is put directly on renewable energy communities. No other countries has such budget.
Yes, Marianne, I also copied in the chat the website of the COMERS project, where I think you can find also some other examples in Europe. And
Okay,
I think now we have to let you go.
To leave.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
very much. Bye. Yes, as I mentioned, you can find other examples of renewable energy communities on the COMERS website. You have several deliverables and reports, but also really in the website there are some examples. also with other types of energy production systems. Today we mentioned only photovoltaic, that is the most common one, because it's let's say probably the easiest way to do it, but there are also other experiences with wind farms and biomass plants, so maybe also that could be interesting for you. So thank you very much for participating today. We are really sorry for the technical issue that we had at the beginning, and we thank you so much for being so patient and still wanting to participate to our meeting. We will send the materials to all the registered participants, and if you with contacts for asking more questions. So if other questions arises in the next days, please feel free to contact us, and we will forward them to the speakers. Thank you very much for now, and we hope that we will see you in next CEnTOUR conferences and webinars.